What's going on, everybody? This is Paul from New Wellness, checking in with the RUMI reading. Yes. Now, last month, I didn't have one. Didn't post one. So it's crazy because we quote unquote didn't have one in June, and this month I drew 2 cards. I thought it was one, but there are actually 2 cards. The first card, Let Love Transform. Look at that. Beautiful. Second card, From Nothing to Everything. So, if this is the first time you've seen these videos, my name is Paul, again from New Wellness. I do these videos because I love oracle cards, and I find that the oracle cards always give messages that help me out throughout the month and these rituals that I can do. And I like to share this, and I feel that the RUMI deck is probably one of my one of my highest vibration decks, just in alignment with me and what's going on with me. So I'm sharing it, and this month was wild. It's like they were themed, right? So the first one talked about love. Let love transform, and I highlighted some of the contents in here just so I could stay on track. Because listen, when I listen to these when I read these RUMI decks, I can isolate and dive deep and process the junk out of these cards. What? Listen, you may not see me for days after I pull some of these cards. Pulled these cards like 3-4 days ago. I'm just doing the video right now. So this Let Love Transform. So the beautiful thing that I loved about how this part of the reading was it talked about how powerful love truly is. How powerful. It said, love is my medicine. A genius will render anything and everything as a pathway to love. So basically what that whole term was, love is the medicine, and when we use love, it can take death and make it a passage into a greater life. It's basically like if we approach situations with love, it gives us another perspective. It gives a situation a whole new life. So that was like, wow, that's deep. But there was the thing that really got me, and I really had to take a deep breath on this, is that it talked about how there's nothing more powerful than love. There's nothing impossible for love. It's not bound by the mind, and because of this, all manner of miraculous grace works through it in endless creative variety. It's interesting because it talked about love as this creative genius, right? And there's a part of this that said to let go, to truly let go and be in love would leave us breathless because it's so intense. I read that, I was like, oh my gosh. And also because love is such a creative genius, this section I had to make sure that we were aware of, or I had to share. It says, do not attach yourself to the form that your resolution and success shall take. Why do we seek to limit love's creative genius? Instead, trust that it will be magnificent, perfection, literally the work of great genius. So detach ourselves from the expectations of timing. There's no time. Absolute trust is the best way to adhere to the law of love. No time. Love is a creative genius. I just think that this is really powerful because I don't know about you all, but for me, I start to get bound by the chronos time concept of like, well, I should be at a certain point in my life by a certain time, or I should have this done by this. Like most of our life is conditioned around some sort of deadline or time frame, and we're running against the clock. We're like, I gotta have this done. And what this is really highlighting or emphasizing for us is that, like, for us to allow love to settle in, that means that we trust in a creative genius that's going to give us something that is at its highest form. And that brings in the second card, which is From Nothing to Everything. Nothing to everything. Now this card was like bananas because I got the Let Love Transform card first, then I got this card next, and I was like, God damn! Thank you, universe. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, guides. Thank you, RUMI deck, Thank these cards for making themselves shown and giving me the way. And thank me for having the courage to share this message, because this thing was really powerful for me. It gave me the chills. When I just spoke about what I said about love, it said there are moments on the path of love that seem to focus on letting go. Letting go of identities, of knowledge and certainty, of opinion, and even attempts at control. Oh, me. I try to control things like you wouldn't believe. And you know what? It brings nothing but suffering. The only thing I can control is my reaction to something. Okay? And when it talked about this path of love, letting love transform and bringing nothing to everything means that we got to let go of the identity. And that junk is scary. It's scary. Listen, as I'm coaching or as I'm guiding clients, I really don't like the term coach because I guide people. But as I guide clients, I see the difficulty that it is when letting go of an identity, a concept, a belief, something that's been driving a life for a long time. It's scary. That's what makes most people want to go back to what brought them to that problem or their issue or their part in their life in the first place. Our mind may fancy itself to be a great wrangler of the word, impressed by its own judgments and declarations, yet in the light of comparison with the divine tale of our soul, all our fancies shall pass away, revealed as so very frail, like clouds dissipating by the sky. Translation: our mind thinks it knows it all, but when we let go into love, this divine love, all that other stuff that the mind tries to conjure up, the fears, the insecurities, all those things, peace out. Peace out. And the great thing about this, when it says letting love in, that I think is helpful here, and I'm looking at the time and I want to keep this under 10 minutes, but like if I don't, oh well. It talked about perception. It talked about the perception of, like, listen, and I'm going to read it verbatim and then we could discuss. We may hit obstacle after obstacle and create even more terror in our storytelling. That life is such a pain, a struggle, that success may not be for us, that we are forgotten and unheard, yet we could equally choose to wonder if obstacle after obstacle, closed door after closed door, is just a prompt to look for the open window to climb through. And if so, instead of seeking to impose our small story upon the great truth, we can live the truth of our divine destiny. So what this is saying is we can choose, like, this obstacle, oh, woe is me, oh. And listen, I can be in that place too, so I don't want you to think I'm trying to be holier than thou, or like when you're in that space, it's right, it's wrong. Ooh, there's the camera, wrong. No, that's bull crap. Okay, it's not wrong, it's just like you letting an emotion be. But what this is saying is that when we're in that space, we have a choice. We can let it be seen as this obstacle, like, oh God, like, you know what, this obstacle really is telling me that I'm not supposed to go this way. Or we can choose to look at it as like all the obstacles, things that happen in life are getting us, directing us to some divine plan that we cannot even conceive. What? Listen, yeah, look, there's so much here. This is so meaty and juicy. I swear to goodness. I wish I may have to just do like a whole hour on this stuff. But you can understand if you have this deck at home, or you go to purchase this deck. When you read these things, when you read this, it's like there's a lot of stuff in here. This thing here that comes with guidance, you're being asked to let go to receive, to become empty to be filled. This may mean letting go of attachment to a lover so you can receive genuine love. It may be of no longer holding on to a fantasy of a dream job, but being guided into your most soulful and successful vocation. It may mean letting go of wishes of your body or health to be other than it is, so you can simply go on with living each day, taking steps into wellness without thinking beyond one day at a time. God, that was a whole thing, but basically what this is saying is like letting go of a concept, letting go of what we thought could be for something that could be so much greater. something that could be so much greater. So listen, it's turning into, the sun is setting, as you can tell by the camera light dimming here. This is Paul from New Wellness, and I'm out. And this is a RUMI Oracle deck. Here it is. Thanks all for joining, as always. And leave a comment. Let me know if this resonated with you. It'd be great to hear from you. Let's see how this have impacted you, and how you're letting love transform, and how you may be creating nothing, for going from nothing to everything. So this is Paul New from The Wellness, bringing you the truth, and talk to you soon.